Welcome back to The Explainer. You know, when we picture the age of the dinosaurs, we almost always imagine these lush, steamy tropical jungles, right? Just packed with giant reptiles. But actually, the true story of how they rose to power comes from a climate shock so massive, it's honestly hard to wrap your head around. We're going back 234 million years to the Triassic period, to an event scientists call the Carnian pluvial episode. Today, we're going to see exactly how an earth-shattering environmental flip took an absolute underdog and turned them into the ruler of our planet. Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to just completely forget our blue, water-rich Earth for a second. Imagine a world where rain absolutely never fell. Picture an environment so relentlessly baked that even the idea of a single cloud or a gentle human breeze is just a total myth. We take seasonal weather cycles entirely for granted today, but what if they just stopped? Imagine living in a place completely devoid of rain, not just for a dry spell or even a century, but for literally millions of years. Just let that sink in. Millions of years. Not one single drop of water from the sky. So how is an eternal drought like that even physically possible? Well, it all comes down to the supercontinent Pangaea. Since pretty much all the land masses on Earth were smashed together into this one colossal block, the deep interior was just unimaginably far from the ocean. We're talking thousands upon thousands of miles of solid land. For millions of years, the heart of this landmass was an absolute dead zone. Ocean moisture physically couldn't make it that far inland. Plus, you had these massive central mountain ranges blocking whatever tiny storm systems even tried to push through. So the ground wasn't the rich, dark dirt we know today. It was this brutally baked, kiln-fired brick of red stone and salt that just stretched out to the horizon in every direction. To really get a feel for how brutal this dead zone was, listen to how the geological record actually describes the conditions. Researchers characterize it like this. The air was a wall of fire. The sky was like a hot vault of brass. I mean, wow. Just let that imagery sink in. That wasn't just a tough, arid place to eke out a living. It was a place where survival sounds basically impossible. The sun's immense heat was just trapped, constantly bouncing off all that dry salt and stone, creating this intense atmospheric pressure cooker right in the center of the world. Now, what's really interesting here is the power dynamic inside that hot vault of brass. When you hear dinosaur, you instantly think apex predator, right? Towering carnivores, massive herbivores. But 234 million years ago, dinosaurs were complete nobodies, absolute shadow dwellers. The real masters of the desert were these massive, heavily armored, crocodile-like reptiles perfectly built for the dry heat. To these ancient kings, the early bipedal dinosaurs were basically prehistoric raccoons. Tiny, fragile, just scurrying out of the way and waiting in the shadows for the literal crumbs left behind by the true heavy hitters. But no empire lasts forever, right? Especially not when the very ground underneath you decides to revolt. Those armored kings had absolutely no idea their entire existence relied on that hot, dry geographical stability. So it begs the ultimate question. What happens when the Earth actually breaks? Because that stable supercontinent was about to experience a massive disruption that would completely flip the planet's climate, and everyone was about to face a terrifying new reality. The crazy part is, the inciting incident wasn't an asteroid falling from the sky. It came from below. Deep underneath the crust, in an area we now call the Wrangellia Terrane, up near modern-day Canada and Alaska, something immense just tore open. It was this massive, unhealing wound of volcanic eruptions, and it just started pumping unimaginable, world-altering amounts of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases straight into the atmosphere. Global temperatures shot up, oceans started evaporating like crazy, and the atmosphere became supercharged with heavy moisture. And then, the impossible happened. Driven by this volatile new climate system, the very first heavy, hot drop of water traveled far enough inland and hit that dry Pangaea dust. The countdown had officially started. And guys, that single drop was just the herald of something completely incomprehensible. This wasn't some passing summer shower. It wasn't a freak monsoon season that lasted a few years. It was a deluge that lasted for 2 million years. 2 million years of continuous ecosystem-shattering rain. It's almost impossible for our brains to process that kind of scale. For 2 million years straight, that kiln-fired brick of Pangaea got absolutely hammered by torrential storms. The relentless downpours turned the baked red stone into this endless, global flood zone of mud and massive river systems. And this timeline perfectly illustrates that deep-time chain reaction. It was a totally violent planetary transformation. For millions of years, you've got this static, dead zone ruled by giant desert reptiles. Then boom,
234 million years ago, the Rangelia eruptions tear the Earth open, the atmosphere chokes on carbon, and the rain starts. Over the next 2 million years, the environment just violently flips. The dry deserts completely wash away, humidity skyrockets, and suddenly you have this explosive growth of giant ferns and massive conifer forests. The relentless storm literally drowned the old ecosystem and threw the whole planetary hierarchy into absolute chaos.
Which brings us to the biggest takeaway. This apocalyptic 2 million-year storm was the exact mechanism that handed the kingdom to the underdog. Think about it. Those massive armored old gods of the desert, they were flawlessly evolved for a dry world that simply didn't exist anymore. They couldn't wade through the deep mud, and they definitely couldn't digest all these towering new plants. So they starved, and they were quite literally drowned out. But those little prehistoric raccoons, because they were bipedal, they stayed out of the mud, and their fast metabolisms were absolutely perfect for this wet, newly green, high-energy world. The dinosaurs you know and love today only exist because this megastorm wiped the slate clean and handed the keys directly to them.
It's such a fascinating, deeply humbling look at how fast global dominance can just vanish. The rulers of the world weren't wiped out because they got weak. They got wiped out simply because the fundamental rules of the game changed entirely around them. And that leaves us with a pretty haunting thought to wrap up our explainer today. If it took a 2 million-year, earth-shattering, atmospheric apocalypse to drown the old gods and crown the dinosaurs, what kind of extreme, unimaginable event is it going to take to forge the next rulers of Earth? Thanks for hanging out with me on this journey through deep time, and as always, keep questioning the world around you.